Hello, artists. Today we're going to be making these 3D insect sculptures with some cardboard insects made by Roylco. We're also going to create an environmental picture for them as well. So as you can see here, I have a wonderful dragonfly, 3D dragonfly. It actually comes off the picture, and I have an environment for my dragonfly. So for your project today, you're going to need a towel or some paper towels because we got to use a little water first. You're going to need your water and a brush. You're going to need a bowl of some sort to help your insect dry properly. I'll show you that in a minute. Paper towel just in case, and your markers, and a white marker too if you want to add some highlights to your picture, to your creature. So you will have 2 insects per cardboard punch out. So I've already done my dragonfly, so it's already punched out. So I'm going to go ahead and punch out my second insect, which is a stag beetle. You can see it's got some pretty amazing feet. Have to be gentle pulling this out. You don't want to tear the feet off because these are cardboard, so they can break. So here we go. And you know, when you finish, these make really fun things to trace your animal and redraw them again in some other way, or to paint through here and use it as a stencil. So keep these because these are really useful. All right, so here is my beetle, but it's flat and it needs to be 3D. So it's very simple. All you have to do is take your brush and water, and you're going to put the water where you want your beetle to bend. So I'm going to bend the beetle right here on these 2 joints of the leg, and you can see it's now darker because they're wet. And all I have to do is bend it down. And then I'm going to bend it out just a little more so that the legs are now like this. Same thing for these. I'm going to put it here and on this joint and this joint, so I can bend it where it's dark, where the water is. So here we have 2 more legs, and insects have 6 legs. So here's the last one right here. Right here. And I'm going to put it right on this corner. So 2 areas for it to bend it down, and then bend it out. Bend it down and bend it out. So here's my beetle, and it can stand up now, so it's 3D. But if I try to dry it with it standing on its legs, eventually the legs are going to start pulling out and they won't stand up properly. That's why you need the bowl. So I'm going to take my bowl and I'm just going to prop my beetle on the bowl so that the legs stay where they are, and it's going to dry like that. Now, everybody in the class got a different kind of insect grouping. So you might have gotten scorpion and the moth, and this is kind of like the emperor moth. I did find that the legs on the moth and on the butterfly are kind of weak. And so I decided not to use them. I punched them, I put them back in their little slots, but I did want to have the wings up. When I dried my moth, I just put it on the bowl like this so that the wings were down. And that way they would dry standing straight up. You might also have gotten the butterfly. Once again, I found these legs to be kind of weak. You can choose to just put them back up into the body and then let it be flat, but with the wings out. And with the butterfly came the bee. And the bee is lots of fun, very dimensional here. So here's the bee. You can also wet the antenna and make the antenna stand up. That could be really fun. So it doesn't take a lot of water. If you put a lot of water on these, they'll start to collapse. So just a little bit of water makes them stay. So you want them to dry first. I think the last grouping was the spider. Nice spider with the 8 legs. And I had to look this up. This is a flying Atlas rhino beetle. So this one's really crazy looking, but really fun to do too. So once you finish your creatures, you've got to let them dry before you use your markers. Once they dry, you can go over them with your regular Crayola markers. And like I said, you can use your white marker to make highlights. So for instance, here is my dragonfly again. And I know that the dragonfly wings are actually clear. You can see through them, but it's cardboard, so you can't really see through the wings right now. So that's why I put the highlights to give it the effect of shining. And I also curled the tail up because a lot of times dragonflies curl their tail when they're sitting. Now, when you go to make your environment, you have to make your environment appropriate for your creature. So that's why I made some water. Dragonflies often live near water, and I made some lily pads. But I have this staghorn beetle, and it does not live in water. It lives in trees and in plants. So I made a branch for it to hang out on while it's floating over the water. So when you go to make your creatures and your environment, you're not necessarily going to make a water environment because not all of these insects live near water. So for instance, if I have the scorpion and I have the moth, this is like an emperor moth, they probably would not be living near water. Scorpions live in dry, deserty kind of areas, and the moths can live all over the place. So have something for the moth to sit on, like a branch, but this scorpion could be on rocks or in sand. So it is a great idea to Google your creature, your insect, and find out, like, what do they look like? What are their colors? If this is an emperor moth, they have all sorts of really beautiful designs on their wings. So look them up and make an environment that's appropriate for your insect. I look forward to seeing your creations. That's it for today, artists.